consciously eating.
All right. Another day, another video. Today we have a series played in the recent cup from hosted by myself, the volume 4 now, or the 4th edition. And yeah, it's actually Slammer vs. DESTROYcall. And from what I heard, it's a banger series, and therefore I brought someone with me today to help me casting and understand the games played. So yeah, introduce yourself.
Hey, this is Happy, just hanging out late night in the Discord. You know, I'll chime in here and there. Yeah. Been playing LittleWarGame, I think, since the Hearthstone video, like quite a bit, but you know, we'll see how it goes.
So you're one of the newer guys, but you're definitely one of the top guys. Or have you played in the past and just got back into it because of the Hearthstone video?
So my account is from like 2016 because I played like maybe like 20 or 30 games way back when, and then I kind of never touched it again up until Hearthstone's video, and it kind of reminded me that I had an account on the game, and it's like, oh crap, I'll go play that, and it was surprisingly pretty fun, and I just like learning new RTS stuff, like learning AoE 4 and getting Conquer, and that was a fun little break from StarCraft. And learning this has been fun, and it's surprisingly well balanced, and I've been able to put in the time to play a crap load of games over the past like week and a half, and I think improve pretty quickly. Get my grubby hands on any replays I can of the top guys to see what's going on.
Yeah, nowadays since we had the Hearthstone hype, I haven't seen them play too much. I think they kind of played ranked a bit, but neither Square Root nor Weird Red or AC are currently playing a lot. I think in the past they played more, and also custom games where I could just spectate and learn and ask questions after, or play with them. I played, for example, a lot with Square Root. Because when I started playing, it was 3 months ago, the game was pretty dead. Ranked playing was not really something you could easily do. So yeah, I enjoy the recent increase of player base. And yeah, but let's take a look at the numbers, or rather the game. So I think we have right now a very balanced game, but with their very different openings. So Slammer already doing his very, I think for him it's standard that he's scouting the whole area around his base for some cheese attempts with a worker. He did that in the very beginning. And he's actually opening with a workshop, which is considered, I think, the worst opening you can do, because it's so easy to fall prone to any cheese and stuff. Or it's just easier to hold with Gatling guns and auto repair and workers and stuff, versus to then proxy beast or something. So I think that's why Slammer was actually scouting all the areas around. And on the other side, we see DESTROYcall playing a very, very standardized, or yeah, nowadays it's a very standard opening for the top guys, with one raider opening, and then you go into archers directly.
I was gonna say, I think there's a little bit of a mismatch. I feel like playing blind 2 raiders, or like playing against the mech style, I feel like playing, at least in my experience, the raiders nonstop, at least up to 4 raiders, is kind of almost a nice setup against mech, and kind of strikes a bit of fear into them. They have to play pretty timidly.
Yeah.
I don't like as much the 1 raider into archers as much. I also feel like maybe it doesn't let you be out on the map and strike any fear into the mech player's heart.
Well, as you can see, right now DESTROYcall has gotten a bird scout if he can take a third without problems, because right now Slammer has a hard time doing anything against air, right? So the bird is a great idea, and I think DESTROYcall's idea is to get a third very quickly, and then after that just hold whatever whatever Slammer's throwing at him. But we see that Slammer actually decides to, after like a very quick mill for gyrocopters. So I think the call with the raiders would have been okay, but yeah, DESTROYcall would not have been able to scout the main base as easily without
Yeah.
losing a radar, I guess. So
Yeah,
and
it was pretty rough. Like, I think it was maybe a slight miss micro in the very start, because I don't think there was any reason to lose that first raider. I think it was just kind
yeah,
of
definitely.
slightly miscontrolled.
Yeah.
Which I think puts him in a little bit of an awkward position
Yeah,
as
I
the
think
Rax
Slammer is
player.
abusing that. Yeah, Slammer is definitely abusing the fact that the radar died early on. With the gyros in general, I think when you do them sneaky, they can actually be a bit troublesome to deal with. But you see, the archers
Oh
are
my god,
just
losing the Gatling.
awesome. Yeah, archers are the natural counter to Gatling guns. Like, they are wrecking them, especially in low numbers and in the early game. But yeah, now the gyro is here. I guess Slammer can only kill one worker before the tower finishes. So yeah, maybe
Well,
DESTROYcall
this would be worker number 2.
Yeah.
So we get 2 worker kills on that gyro. But yeah, a little surprising to see the Gatlings not coming back to hide in the gold mine, especially since he had the catapult almost done too. He kind of stayed out in the middle of the map, and then
Yeah, now he's losing a gyrocopter. Yeah, just Slammer slipping here a bit. Also, DESTROYcall keeping tabs on with the bird on a third, at least one location. So yeah. Okay, second worker died now. Let's see how DESTROYcall manages. Because in general, I think the economically advantage you can get is so beneficial and can win you games really, really safe, so to say, in LittleWarGame. So I think these bases are very, very important. And therefore I think DESTROYcall is just relying on the fact that he can have now a smooth sailing with superior economy. But he also
he doesn't really have that superior of economy though as well. I feel like it's obviously, I think as the mech player, losing those 3-4 Gatlings, what was it, 4 Gatlings, I think he probably could have lost less than that had he pulled back a bit quicker. Obviously when you're stuck on the one workshop for so long, I think that is a pretty big impact. But I mean, Slammer has a pretty, at least for like a full minute, like 2 worker cycles, he had like a 4 or 5 worker lead and was actually even in economy with DESTROYcall,
but now,
even though Destroy had the faster third.
Yeah, and DESTROYcall now does what I always see him doing. He's just getting up his stuff, and you see he's already putting down wolf den and workshops himself. So I guess we will see werewolves in the long run, but also a lot of wolves. Not so many snakes, I figure, and we will definitely see catapult drops because the advanced workshop is also put down and almost finished. So he's ready for gyrocopters, and he will definitely be very troublesome for Slammer to deal with. Whereas Slammer, if we take a look at his base, he's still producing... No, actually he stopped producing gyros and going now with the fortress. I guess he goes into dragons now. He's just getting more workshops, and now they will both try to get the fourth and hit each other. But I think Slammer is well less prepared for drops or anything in the air, or any harassment really, than DC is, because he already has towers at all worker lines. And yeah, right now I would say DESTROYcall is a bit favored and a bit ahead maybe, even though losing more units in general or more value in general.
I would agree. Plus, it looks like he's setting himself. He's already got the airship out. And the other thing is, I don't know how I feel about this, the gyro into dragon. I feel like the gyro elicits the anti-air response.
Yeah.
And then following it up with dragons, I'm curious to see how it plays out, because that doesn't seem very... at least, it seems like I would be scared of them already having the answer for it, like, right away.
Yeah, the thing is with dragons, at some point, when you have enough dragons, with the upgrades of course, so in the late game, you really don't have to be so afraid of ballistas. So you don't need to dodge them anymore, you can kind of just kill them right away, if DESTROYcall in that regard would not have been able to bring enough workers to repair it. So it's actually very, to say, a dynamic game when you have anti-air versus air players. So really, and Slammer, I mean, Slammer is the guy with the most ranked plays or ranked games in LittleWarGame. He has played the most. So he's very experienced. So I guess he tries to get into a late game now, and his idea is to just win with the superior upgrades in the long run. But since he's mech and beast playing, same as DESTROYcall, it's really expensive to get all the upgrades. But now we see Slammer is moving out to get the 4th base and kind of guarding it with his units. And on the other side, we see DESTROYcall is hunting down the gyrocopters. And I think, yeah, no, they're too fast.
I find it quite curious that they're both playing 4th base before any kind of upgrades, especially considering how hard mech scales with their attack upgrades. I know, I think when I play these more mech kind of styles, I typically find myself feeling a bit safer playing a forge, like a single forge before my 4th, and then taking a slightly later 4th. But
Yeah, I think they both would soon start to fight for map control, and then we will see run-bys, especially by DESTROYcall because he's having the wolves. And wolf run-bys are usually pretty annoying. I think that's the reason for the tower in front with the house from Slammer.
I mean, this fight is getting really cleaned up too, and he's also been banking the dragons, like you say. It looks like if this ballistic comes out, he's even hiding the dragons and pulling them back. So definitely gonna try and catch him off guard, I guess, and then focus down the ballistas.
Yeah, Slammer really abusing the fact that DESTROYcall can't get the information and into his base really.
Yeah.
And look at this one gyro chipping down on the catapults, but the catapults dealing so much damage to buildings that the little fortification here in the front is not really helping Slammer and just getting killed.
Yeah, kind of a mistake from DESTROYcall not clearing one of the 4th base locations with the ballista airship before really making this push, because I really like that Slammer has a gyro on each 4th location. The worker even coming to the 4th right now.
Makes definitely sense.
Because Slammer just knows this whole time the gyros give him the information. He knows all he's got to do is wait till he has enough dragons to kill these ballistas, and it's 4 base to 3.
We see already we have an airship, and I think DESTROYcall also has the upgrade, right? Yeah, he also has the black powder upgrade. So really, the dragons are right now rendered kind of useless.
No, what? I think he just killed both of the ballistas, and this entire ground.
No. There are ballistas in one of the airships in the fronts, above the catapults. There are the 2 ballistas in the airship, and DESTROYcall is really just waiting for anything air. I think he expects gyros, but even if he sees the dragons now, he can just drop the ballistas, and you will see they deal immense damage. But one of them is already pretty much damaged, and I think Slammer has the necessary threshold to just kill the ballistas in time. And the ballista, because of the lower attack speed, is not able to deal with all of them at once. And now we see what I told you. And now the dragons dealing too much damage from 2 ballistas without repair. So yeah, DESTROYcall kinda lost his position now. He's producing from one advanced workshop only. Getting a second one, but still, I mean, he's not able to really hold this position here. The dragons are really coming in clutch, and as expected.
I'm worried I did an amateur move. It seemed, I feel like maybe I'm a little ahead of you in the replay.
Really?
I'm not sure.
What's the time right now?
I'm an amateur at this. 13:07.
Okay, I'm at 12:17.
Okay, I don't know how I got ahead of you. I think I must have made some mistake.
Yeah, LittleWarGame is a bit weird. It's okay. Just pause, and I'm at 12:30 now. So yeah.
I've got it paused. That's why I was saying when the dragons came down on top of the ballistas and broke the ballistas, I was like, oh my god, I was like, this ground push is cleaned up.
Yeah, I've seen when I was talking about rendered useless, there were only 4 or 5 of them, so that was not enough. But yeah, with this amount of dragons, like how many does he have right now? 11.
Definitely very smart of Slammer to hide the dragons, knowing it's 4 base to 3, and knowing even though the ground fight isn't going well, like all he has to do is just kind of buy time and wait for enough dragons, and he can kind of break the back of the push.
I'm at 13:05 now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So that's where I'm at. All right, and now that we see the dragons doing the harassment, and yeah, it's painful. As you can see, like 2 groups of dragons flying in left and right, And yeah, the towers are not sufficient. And yeah, DESTROYcall just leaves. So yeah, that concludes the first replay. And as you see, I mean, Slammer just... I think it was not even that he made mistakes, but just DESTROYcall not able to scout his base was crucial.
Here I was doubting the dragons like a fool.
Mm.
So good to see how effective those were. Definitely more of a surprise mechanic there going for the dragons, but definitely crazy strong.
Yeah, you just need the numbers with them, right? So that's the idea, to have at least 10 of them. If you have 10, it's already very, very, very hard to deal with. And also, you have always to think about that ballista is dead supply. So if you decide at some point to just skip production of dragons and just go heavy on werewolves, for example, that's a switch you often see from beast players. In the later stages of the game, if you have a macro game and you are 4 base versus 4 base, the other player ends up with 4 ballistas or even more, which are just useless, and your werewolves can just march in. It's just the whole dynamic of air and dragons especially versus ballista is very, very hard and very, very scout dependent, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
I
start.
think it's a good idea. If you're winning the ground fight, it might be a good idea just to start blindly adding on ballistas if the ground fight's going suspiciously well.
All right. Second game. So since we have a best of 3 now, this is the question: will DESTROYcall lose another time, or will he claw its way back into the series and we have actually, a nice series, a nice 2-1 decision at our hands. Obviously, the game was already played, the party was already played, so everyone knowing the grid knows already who's the winner. But still, if you didn't check the bracket link yet, don't do so yet. Wait another few minutes and then we can, kind of celebrate the victory of a DESTROYcall. But so long, let's enjoy what DESTROYcall has cooking now. Because I think last game, the map Ravaged is probably the most played map at all times, especially when it's vanilla and not some mods. So I think that's a map where you are feeling confident, even in playing something like a workshop opening. So I guess this map is kind of the invitation to cheese. I think Slammer will definitely not feel as confident here. And we see that he's opening with Rex, so I guess we will have the Raider versus Raider opening, or maybe one player is into the Archer instant kind of opening, but let's see. You like the map, by the way, or you don't?
I'm not crazy about it, but on the whole, I think most of the maps I think are pretty fun and feel pretty fair.
Yeah.
I'm always just scared of horizontal spawns with that such a close airspace. It makes me feel like the mill rushes or quick dragon rushes. It's like it's proxied. Yeah. It gets there so fast.
It's indeed, and as I said, it's an invitation to something funny, or in general, like all inny, so to say. And we actually see that DESTROYcall is starting with Raider again. But Slammer, on the other hand, is doing what I mentioned with the Archers instant. Like, you try to put down your expansion and you try to hold your position at the castle with Archers only. It's very hard to do. Requires a lot of skill, and you have to pull workers and stuff. So really, really interesting to see how Slammer is doing it. Because, I mean, that opening is really something only the very top play. So I think Squarewood invented it, and he actually for a week or so did beat everyone. And now we're gonna see that the other guys picked it up as well and try their hands on it. And we see
micro so far though.
Yeah.
I think the scariest part is kind of over now that the Raiders low HP.
Yeah, but you really can get really destroyed by 1 or 2 Raiders here with this position.
Yeah, I think it was nice for Slammer that DESTROYcall once again opened up for the single Raider instead of a blind 2 Raider.
Yeah,
could have been a little scarier. But...
yeah, but also DESTROYcall just playing a very safe opening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
Both,
really
both
looking
playing
forward.
so safe. Slammer playing racks first and worker scouting. Very cautious play.
Yeah, he's really someone who's very. I mean, I guess when you play that many games, you really have seen it all and a lot of cheeses. So he's really afraid of all the cheeses because that's when he loses usually, especially versus the top guys because their cheese tactics are so min-maxed and so efficient that it's really, really, really hard to play and win against it. And very small mistakes decide the win then. Oh, what we see now is the 2 base 3 Rex play from DESTROYcall. I guess he saw the archers and knows, okay, Slammer will not be able to scout me anytime soon. So he's really now it's his time to abuse the fact that Slammer doesn't know what DC is cooking.
Yeah, even
So
cutting workers for it too. Very committed.
yeah, he's really. I think he will try to def push him with just a superior amount of archers. So yeah, let's see how Slammer is holding this with 2 Rex versus 3 Rex. In LittleWarGame, because it's so slow and the units are not walking as fast, you always have to count in or taking into consideration the time your units need until they are arriving at the enemy's base. So let's see if it really works for DESTROYcall with the 3 Rex.
Yeah, I definitely like at least unless it snowballs out of hand. I mean, this should be pretty good for Slammer having the initial archer lead. Really punishing him. It's going to take a while for that one extra barracks to provide enough archers, but I think moving forward to try and get that raider like that so aggressively might have just been the nail in the coffin, though.
Yeah, I think as well he should stay at his worker line. Would make more sense, right?
Would be a lot safer, yeah. But then again, maybe pulling the workers down. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely a risky move.
Yeah, he loses a lot of archers, but right now the numbers are still the same, right? Oh, yeah, not really. No, not anymore.
Yeah, well, with the archer build time and the walk distance being so long, I really thought that the initial archer advantage out of Slammer would be enough that the third racks wouldn't provide enough of an archer lead in time. It would have taken like honestly like a full minute 30 seconds before there's an even amount of archers on the other side of the map.
But bit underestimated.
Slammer, yes, Slammer losing out, I think, in that initial. Like I really thought.
Yeah, there were there were 3 archers Slammer didn't see coming, and so they moved towards each other, and then Slammer was too close with his archers to the new arriving 3 ones that he couldn't really get out of the situation anymore. And Slammer now, oh no, he does it right. He does a certain. Okay, yeah, that's loose. Not for Slammer not seeing that there are 3 archers coming and that the amount of archers is so much more than he is. And he's still.
I still don't hate it for Slammer just because he still has this 4 worker lead, and it's just about, I guess. I would have liked to see the workers get pulled, I guess, much earlier, because if he secured this tower, he had such a large worker lead that I think it might have been feasible, but not anymore. I think it's just snowballed too much.
Yeah.
I mean, just a slight misstep walking into the reinforcing archers, just a little bit.
That's the skill level there. Little mistakes add up, and then that's already game winning or losing depending on which you're on. Yeah, even the third base can't really save him anymore.
Pretty good job out of DESTROYcall. I think doing a good job body blocking the workers trying to come up and construct.
Yeah.
For as long as possible.
Yeah. I mean, even if the tower then comes up or is a bit earlier, he still can just kill it down or focus it down with the archers. Right?
Yeah, it's too late, but it's good, showing good micro. I mean, I think that was appropriate body blocking. Not making any needless mistakes.
look at this.
A riveting archer war.
Yeah. Just so good.
Yeah.
Just a good play by... Just a very decent play by DESTROYcall, just ending it. And it was a very quick game as well. Like,
Yeah.
not macro or anything, it was just, look, I will just trick you and then I push you to death. So,
Yeah. To be honest, a very risky play out of DESTROYcall. I honestly believe that Slammer had all the tools he needed to win that game. I think he just...
Alright. Third game, decider match. DESTROYcall won, Slammer won. We seen dragons being hidden and doing the job. And we've seen Slammer getting destroyed by a lot of archers. And a greedy third attempt by him. So, yeah, really looking forward to this. I think they are very evenly matched. Because, I mean, it's very hard to judge skill in LittleWarGame. You have the top 3 guys. That's Weird Red, AC, and Square Root. And then below that, you have Slammer and DC. And probably someone else. I can't remember. And Slammer and DC in the past, Slammer was better than Square Root or anything else. So Slammer was the top dog, so to say. But that was years ago. And then since then, the new guys took over, so to say. But Slammer is still fighting for the top dog position again. And he really kind of pushes into this top 3 thing. He's just not as consistent as these other guys. So the difference here in skill is, I think, not the knowledge or the game sense or whatever. It's more the mechanical side of things. So I'm really looking forward to DESTROYcall because he's like a new Slammer, grinding a lot of games, pushing into the top guys and trying to take place there and really put himself up there. But he's not there yet. And he has all kinds of cheese tactics, and he can take off maps of them all, and he does so regularly. But in the moment where it counts, like in cups or tournaments, usually the other guys prevail. So it's really, really interesting to see how these 2 guys, which are, in my opinion, very, very, like, you can't ask for a more equal skilled matchup. I'm really curious to how they will approach the game now, because this map is pretty new as well, so they are not as proficient in it. And yeah, in general, I think it's just a great game.
I would say pretty brave at a Slammer in Game 3 against DESTROYcall, who in my experience is no stranger to cheese, going for castle first with that match point. Yeah, pretty ballsy, but also a little bit of a safer castle first, because I know the norm is more of like an 11 castle and then 11 dens, but Slammer being a little bit more safe, I think, going for 10 castle and then 10 dens. So
yeah, the build he's
really
doing here is optimized kinda to hold most cheeses or in general raiders. And Ice Cold is not as small as Ravaged, for example, so the cheese possibilities are very limited here. I mean, of course, DESTROYcall can pull it off, but in general, 2 dens with castle first is considered very, very safe. And I think only double Rex proxy raiders is something you can really struggle and deal with and kind of out the loose. But yeah, very unlikely to see DESTROYcall do something like that.
Yeah, I still don't think it really paid off though, because I mean, I feel like DESTROYcall's opening was a little safer, and if you look at like total income mined, DESTROYcall is up almost 100 gold off the opening. So
yeah, but we have to keep in mind that Slammer's idea here is to use the dragons again. So he's already upgrading his castle to a fortress, and his whole idea now, or his whole game plan, revolves around DESTROYcall not being able to scout his main and just keep him busy with his own wolves. So I think from that standpoint, I understand why he chose this build and why he's doing what he's doing. And I think we see a bit of move micro here out of these 2 guys, and I think DESTROYcall is losing 1. So first blood drawn. And DESTROYcall very safely securing already the 3rd position.
I really like it. I know in my games, whenever I take a fast third off of the one den, I've been liking the bird around 420, 430. I find that gets there in time to let me know if I need an advanced workshop right away. But these are definitely pretty quick dragons.
I think, from what I see from DESTROYcall, I kind of expected a bird, especially because he in the beginning was blocked out of the pathway into the main by Slammer. So I think DESTROYcall not being suspicious is kind of unusual, but it just shows like someone like AC or Square Root, they would just make sure to know. They would sniff it, like they would see that and then they would react accordingly. But DESTROYcall not doing so. Yeah.
Like, in my mind, I feel like both of the dens being down on the low ground means that even if you can't get into the main, you can see that it's beast versus beast. They don't have a werewolf den, and they're not attempting to take a third. To me, that would just
kind of screams
scream...
dragon.
Yes. So a little scary to be the slower third player going for the dragons when I feel like...
well, to be honest, the bird now comes, and he also has... Okay, he only misses one tower at his main, and he also puts down an adventure. I guess DESTROYcall just knows the timing better. You know what I mean? He knows he has the time to take a third. He knows, okay, I need an advanced workshop later. So maybe he knows from the get-go, okay, he blocked me out. I expect there to be dragons, and he's also right with it. And as you can see, like the advanced workshop will finish. He will definitely be able to get a ballista in time, and he also will, I guess, have a tower ready in his main when the dragons arrive. So just very well played by DESTROYcall, abusing it and getting.
He also has the much earlier werewolf den, and I really like the decision to go for the towers initially to keep him safe from both the wolves and. Really, the tower does an okay job against the dragons. It's really not until there's like 4 dragons that the towers become somewhat useless. Yeah. But then he should have the ballista in time for the second round of dragons.
Yeah, so in general, I would say DESTROYcall is right now miles ahead. He knows what Slammer is doing. He's completely countering what there will come. But also the one... I mean, imagine it. DESTROYcall has played this game with one den opening, and he never put down anything else than this one den. Until now, with production buildings. And now he just gets anti-air instead of anything else. So he's upgrading it to den. Wow, DESTROYcall just knowing how to react to this and does so perfectly.
My only fear is that there's enough wolves to maybe blast down the tower.
Yeah, DESTROYcall really needs to hold this at the neutral,
That is the only concern, I think, is that the tower gets focused down.
Yeah.
But with the ballista about to finish and the whole position micro being nasty, then...
Wait, so but it's the finishing. I'm at 7 minutes now. Are you ahead?
I am ahead. I'm at 7:30. Let me pause.
We'll let you know when I'm 7:20 or something. So I see the whole position, I see the 3 dragons now, and I see the first dragon dying. And yeah, the ballista is halfway out for me yet. And the tower still stands. And yeah, the whole position micro, as you already mentioned, is great. You're doing a good job, but the tower will go down nevertheless. Okay, now I'm at 7:21, 22, 23, 4.
I'm at 7:30, so I'll just wait a little bit.
Yeah, now I'm 29, 30, so be free. Okay. And now, this werewolf comes out in the perfect moment. Because this werewolf
really saved the day.
Yeah, absolutely clutch. But that's what you get, right? You see just on point with everything.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think this is, in my eyes, very valuable learning experience to see how late you can push that ballista.
Yeah.
In this kind of a situation. Very smart out of him recognizing there's no werewolf den on the low ground, so it's really gotta be dragons on 2 base. Like, just good play.
DESTROYcall, big brain move.
Very, very smart play. Very educational to see how textbook the defense was, I think.
Yeah.
That werewolf popping out really just in time. I think he might have only lost like one, like the tower fell, and I think he only lost 2 workers by the time the werewolf popped, so he's just in a amazing position.
Yeah, and now he's on 3 base, and he can really just finish this game. He can just take a fourth. He can just deal with everything. Everything Slammer can now throw at him, he can deal with it. With the wolves, he has the werewolves. With the dragons, he has already 2 ballista, 3 even. So yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I would really love to see like 2 workers being loaded up in each of these airships, and just like a timing with the 4th werewolf or something.
Yeah, well, he has one. I think one worker with him to repair the ballista.
Repair speed is pretty fast. I know I'm always scared that when I do timing like that, they'll have just enough dragons to, melt down the ballistas.
Yeah, the thing is, when you have ballistas and you bring workers, the dragons need to kill the workers, and then they can kill the airship, and then they can kill the ballista. So, really, bringing workers is really only beneficial.
Yeah. I really hope DESTROYcall goes across the map with this 4th werewolf. I think if he doesn't, he's really missing his moment. So looks like he is, though. So I mean, also really like how he's moving. He's getting excellent vision for the dragons, seeing each of the major attack paths too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional by him or not, but really excellent vision as he moves across the map.
Yeah, I guess it's intentional, but because he now sees on the right side all the dragons and they are attacking the werewolf, so he can fly his airships there and then deal with the dragons.
Yeah, it looked fairly intentional and just a really solid move.
Yeah, now the werewolf. So
yeah, if he can break this natural, and really these werewolf dens are so exposed, he can get on top of these. Yeah, I think this is the right call. It's just smashing down these werewolf dens.
Yeah, the dens and then the castle. I guess with this amount of werewolves, you kind of can imagine. Ignore the damage of the tower though. But also Slammer got a thought up, so maybe Slammer holds this longer than we expect him.
Still gonna be rough though. I mean, even with the third is so delayed that I want to. Slammer in the tab looks to be about 1,000 resources behind in total mind alone. And then he's also behind in resources lost, like another 500. So
yeah, but in the natural now, it looks very scary. So many dragons. I mean, they are kind of damaged, but still they do the damage and they deliver damage. But yeah, DESTROYcall microing the tower and killing the low HP dragons. And Slammer not focusing the tower down first and after going for the dragons, for the workers. Kind of a mistake. And yeah, he loses another dragon. That's really unfortunate. And also DC just repairing it and also having a ballista. So yeah, the dragons do really nothing. But also on the other side,
the only scary thing is here. I feel like DESTROYcall needs to fix. I think he's a little bit oversaturated in the main and the third, and he's also, while dealing with the dragons, Slammer was able to stabilize and get enough werewolves out. So, I mean, definitely an uphill battle for Slammer, like, for sure. But
he does a good job.
Yeah, he stabilized. I thought he was honestly just a goner there. So having his dragon count reduced to 3 is
that's huge.
Tough. That's tough.
But actually, Slammer is getting a workshop. I think he tries now to combine the Gatling guns, which are the natural counter to werewolves, with werewolves. So the army with the Gatling guns as addition is favored, of course. And we see Slammer a bit greedy, getting a 4th base already. But maybe it's not greedy. Maybe he knows that there will be nothing in the next minute coming from the DESTROYcall. And DESTROYcall is staying on 3 base actually. And getting a fortress himself, so he will most likely also try to get into the dragons to make sure his ballistas are not completely useless at some point. To force Slammer to also get ballista or dragons. And I guess since he already has 2 dens, I would say Slammer is also starting to dragons then. So yeah. And they start upgrades now. Interesting.
Little scary to try and go into his own dragons when I feel like the most straightforward way to lean on an opponent at a disadvantage would just be to take your own 4th faster and try and out-werewolf them, but it'd be interesting. Seeing that Slammer actually has the werewolf advantage now, at least at home, with the defender's advantage, since there are werewolves walking across the map. He'll definitely be able to hold this 4th, so...
Oh, Mr. DESTROYcall is supply blocked. 110 from 210. It's a bit unfortunate. That should not happen. But that's something I don't know. I have every game I'm blocked at least twice. But I am getting better at it, not being supply blocked. And I think in the heat of the action, it can definitely happen. Right, what's the upgrades? Okay, so yeah, DESTROYcall already having the upgrade, the first damage upgrade. In Beast vs. Beast, it actually makes a difference. It's quite important. But also DESTROYcall going into the range of the towers here. Maybe he tries to kill the castle now with just the right click. I don't know. He just sends the werewolves over. And they just...
I feel like just having a werewolf advantage is superior to having like even though having +1 beast attack feels I think nice. Like it's only +2 on a 40 damage unit, so I feel like just having the momentum and having a large werewolf lead like Slammer does is...
Yeah, I think DESTROYcall wanted to distract only to get his 4th base online. And he actually did so. Yeah. So it's not about winning right now. They both try to establish an economy, I would say. And actually it looks quite balanced right now.
Yeah, I would say Slammer stabilized well. I think the decision to go for the 4th and just go for the werewolves and secure that 4th, definitely the right call. I wish DESTROYcall had played the more straightforward, just werewolf route with the faster 4th himself. Just because between the extra 1,000 gold mined and the better resources lost, I feel like that he could have just leveraged that in a mirror matchup to advantage.
But you never know the numbers, right? In game, it always feels a bit different.
Yeah. Definitely. I feel like he's getting a little fancy and it's worrying me. That's all. Slammer's done a good job. He's done a really good job stabilizing.
Yeah.
Really, really even game out of what honestly I thought was just game over 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Also the worker count, like Slammer is ahead, five workers, but we see 8 ballistas is a bit much, right? For 6 dragons, 8 ballistas. Oof. That's a bit rough.
Yeah. And a Slammer was supply blocked a little bit on 2 werewolves for probably a good 20 seconds.
Yeah, what his 5th base will... 5th castle
yeah,
will...
Yeah, 5th cleared at any other house, but I just know those 2 werewolves were stuck in queue for some time. Which can be painful right here, because...
Slammer making a mistake. Not sure where you are at. I'm at 15, 24, 25. But Slammer is sending 4.
I'm at 15:30, so I'm right there.
Yeah. And right now the two werewolves, Slammer got away to kill the sneaky tower here on the top right. Actually reducing the count of werewolves, he has to fight the werewolves from DESTROYcall, and DESTROYcall is winning the fight at the natural of Slammer. And yeah, now Slammer is kind of screwed.
Even though he's winning the fight, though, having a 5th with a 6th base on the way for Slammer, I definitely prefer that.
Yeah, but he will lose.
Obviously, this is scary in the moment, but I mean, if Slammer can just stabilize like he's been doing all game,
still an uphill bet.
Yeah, but definitely unfortunate timing there.
Yeah, and the castle is down 100%, right? Or not? Close. But too many werewolves are damaged. Like for Slammer, 3 are dead.
He really should be repairing this castle, and he should have been back to mining during that werewolf interaction. That could have been good. He also could have maybe, while the werewolves got pulled away, he had the money. He could have possibly Sim-City'd around the castle to save it. If he put a couple houses, like 1 grid spaced.
Yeah, but these werewolves dealing so much damage to these buildings, then just kind of blocking doesn't really help much. So yeah, I think the castle will definitely die, but it's a question of how many werewolves DESTROYcall will lose in exchange. And it seems
in a werewolf versus werewolf battle, I mean the momentum is everything, and him also being on top of the werewolf production like this.
Yeah. And he's also having the upgrades where Slammer doesn't. Yeah, maybe Slammer is finally punished for his greediness, because he has taken so many bases. But actually, maybe the greediness is in the end something which will help him stabilize even more, because he will definitely lose his natural, and the main is mined out. So really, yeah, really questioning how.
I mean, the main issue is, I mean, this fifth, I was really happy to see him take this fifth, but during the micro exchange, he never sent anything over to saturate it. So this fifth and sixth are essentially paperweights for the last minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah, he really should.
It's finally getting workers transferred to it.
Yeah. Yeah, now killing more, another werewolf then, so Slammer needs to rebuild them and then upgrade them again. So yeah, Slammer really in trouble here, I think. Also from the supply stance, I mean, 150 supply versus, what is this, 50? But honestly, with these bases, he may be able to hang on, honestly.
No, I think when you start looking at supply difference, if you were gonna sell me on a comeback and it was only a 30 or 40 supply difference, I might be willing to buy it. But I think 3-to-1 supply, especially in such a momentum, like when it's werewolf versus werewolf, I think it's that kind of a supply. It's not like wolf snake at 150 supply going up against like mages, you know, where they're gonna get blasted. You know, when you have a mirror matchup with a 3-to-1 supply discrepancy, that's a rough game.
But still, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 mines versus 4 right now. So it's not all over.
But while Slammer is in this maxed state, all of his income is just being banked though. I like the counter drop by Slammer. I think the counter drop to, in an ideal world, maybe DESTROYcall pulls back too many units and gives him more time.
Yeah, but also
DESTROYcall only actually mining off of 2 bases.
Yeah.
So
really, these 2 werewolves in the top left were definitely hard to deal with. And Slammer actually getting werewolves. And he's... Where's the... Ah, he cancelled. Okay, I guess... Yeah, he must have cancelled. Because I saw a workshop for the Gatling guns. Because they would really help him out right now. Because everything DESTROYcall has is... yeah, a lot of werewolves. But also the middle mine is pretty neat from DESTROYcall to take. Really like that. You don't see that very often. On Ice Cold at least. Yeah, okay, and now 3 dragons will deal with the werewolves up here. Yeah, now he marches in. Yes. How many werewolves are that?
yeah, it's 5 werewolves.
10 versus... But yeah. That's...
At least on my screen, yeah, it's rough.
But Slammer still, I mean... Still in this game somehow. The ballista. The ballista is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, DESTROYcall securing the middle base. On this map, I find the middle base does not get secured unless somebody has a pretty major... Yes.
The idea, I mean, as I was creating the map, the idea was to have some reason for people to go into the middle. And what other reason would there be to have a mine? And imagine if a world or a game where it's very stalematey and both players actually are mined out on all mines, and then you have like
stalemate breaking mine.
Yeah. So that's the whole idea. To have less stalemates.
I mean, I like it. I mean, I think it's cool. I just know that I never really see this base getting taken unless
someone is ahead.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate. Slammer had a Ballista, but it was killed by one of the werewolves from the scroll, from DESTROYcall. And now 3 towers have to do all the difference, but I guess they can't, or they will not do. I mean, they kill the dragons pretty fast, and also Slammer kind of... Oh, wait a moment, Slammer can actually hold this, right?
I'm still having a hard time believing it. I mean, we've gone from a 3-to-1 supply deficit to a 2-to-1. I mean, it's better, but
And now the ballista is out, the airship to carry that around. Nice.
It just seems to me like DESTROYcall is kind of regathering his assets for a final push. Which I think is the correct call, because Slammer has been shown in when things are happening on multiple screens, Slammer seems to miraculously stabilize every time.
Yeah, Slammer is really holding on, man.
Showcasing possibly a little bit better multitask, at least when there's stuff happening everywhere. He's winning fights that I don't necessarily believe should be won on paper.
Yeah. Oh, okay, we see a fourth then, but yeah, DC really, he's maxed out now. He should really just push in. But I think the ballista.
I don't think the upgrades normally make a big difference in werewolf versus werewolf, but because DC actually has +5 attack, having +10
+8
now.
I'm at 22 minutes, so he's already having +10 now.
Yeah, 1 minute ahead. I keep getting ahead. It's interesting to me. I find it interesting that the game can move at different speeds, considering I imagine we're both just on 1x speed. Yeah. That is quite odd.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's still not over. I don't know. We are 22 minutes in a game, and DESTROYcall was not able to manage to give Slammer the killing blow. Where are the dragons right now? Ah, okay. So they are in the middle now. Idling around, I guess. So we have all the werewolves to do all the work. And yeah, I think it's very smart of DESTROYcall to kill the werewolf dens here. I think that's what's helping Slammer to survive for so long. Makes absolutely sense, yeah. To kill the werewolf dens is really the clutch thing to do here, I think. That's maybe the nail in the coffin now.
Yeah.
But also, Slammer still having a lot of gold and 3 mines.
Yeah. Which, I mean, really, it just looks like from the future, Slammer just trying to get into Gatlings as like the only way maybe he can kind of shift the tables on the resources lost and start taking favorable trades.
Yeah.
But
it's too late now, I guess. The workshops take too long to finish, and DESTROYcall already maxed out again and can push again.
Yeah. I mean, pretty impressive. I mean, Slammer hanging in on this game down 2-to-1 supply for, honestly, what, 10
minutes? Yeah, 10 minutes.
It's pretty miraculous.
Okay, now he lost the airship, so the ballista is definitely gone. Or soon to be gone. Yeah, and that's it, I think. Both workshops will get killed.
For recreating the fortress in the bottom right is.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you'd have time to go back into dragons in a situation like this.
Well, out of desperation, I think he really has no option to do anything. I think it's pointless. It doesn't really matter what he's doing or what's his plan now. He can't really get back into it right now.
I mean, that's the tough thing about RTS. I mean, no decision is the right decision when you have half the units the other guy.
Yeah. The situation is so dire, there's not really much he can do anyways. But still, I mean, he, again, just hold this push again. Good
Gatling micro, really making DC work for it.
Yeah. And his werewolf den is finished, or his 2 werewolf dens are finished, so he can start producing werewolves again. And he still has a ballista, and now he gets a second airship, second workshop, and he's producing Gatling guns, 3 of them at once. So I would still, I mean, it's still so equal, but not equal. It's insane. DESTROYcall really
trying to figure out where all of DESTROYcall's supply is, because it feels like he's constantly taking these fights where he's up 2-to-1 supply, but then when you look at the actual fight, he doesn't actually have that many more units down in the bottom right.
Well, he's close to 20 more workers, so that's 20 supply. So maybe if we deduct that, the difference is not that much anymore.
So I'm looking at a 12 worker difference, and then it looks like he also has 3 more ballistas. so that's another 12 supply. So we've got a 24 supply kind of in the void in comparison. Also 4 dragons, which have pretty much been idle.
Yeah.
So that's another 16. So quite a lot of supply sitting idly, and then what the airships, 4 airships, another 12 supply. So we're probably racking up to like 50, 60 supply that really hasn't gotten to see any action in the last 5 minutes.
Or 10. Yeah, really this Gatling micro. he's taunting him like on a leash. He's saying, come on, good to go.
Yeah. I think it was definitely a good game. I think impressive how many times Slammer was able to stabilize a losing game. You know, in one game he was able to stabilize like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, and coming back kinda from a losing position. And I think
if he ever had breathing room, getting into the Gatling with his own werewolf was definitely the right call if he ever had the time.
Yeah. Yeah, but now the amount of werewolves is too high to deal with, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But really, it feels like DESTROYcall is just producing werewolves with a rally point at Slammer's base, and yeah, now we see it. So GG. Awesome.
Yeah.
That concludes the best of 3, and Slammer is out because it was the lower bracket. And I think DESTROYcall moved on to the grand final now.